This presentation is about the integrated learning experiences available to HPBS students. This video is not meant to be comprehensive. It is meant to provide an overview of the various types of ILE experiences available to our students. You can find more information, including extensive written materials on the Canvas homeroom page, as well as in a shared Google folder. These slides are available in both of those locations, and links to the materials I am referencing in this video are available there. If you have additional questions after watching this video, please contact your academic advisor. So to start, what is the ILE? The ILE is your opportunity to demonstrate your mastery of the knowledge and skills you acquired during your time in the MPH program, which is pretty vast. This ILE project is meant to be fairly extensive. It includes a written document that explains your selected public health issue, a question you chose to ask about the issue, and the methods you took to answer that question. And this document is going to look different for every student, even if you're using the same format and choosing the same ILE option. This is really custom to you. There are currently, as of 2023, 5 ILE options. We have 2 options that are called Plan A traditional thesis and a manuscript version of the thesis. And then we have 3 Plan B options. We will go over each of these in this presentation, including what are the differences. So the differences between the various types of ILEs available to you can be boiled down to the focus and the scope of the project, the setting of the project, who is involved, how you will present the project, and how and when you turn in the project. So I will go over each of the options here to give you an idea of these differences. Starting with the Plan A thesis and manuscript. The focus and the scope of these Plan A projects are meant to answer a research question. These are typically hypothesis-driven projects. The research question is crafted by the student with the support of their advisory committee. Most students who do a Plan A option collect their own data that can include qualitative, quantitative, or a combination of both those types of data. However, you can complete this option using existing data collected by your advisor or whoever else you are working with. Because this often includes human subjects research, and IRB approval is required, which forces you to start this project a little bit earlier than some of your peers who might not be doing this option. This project can be conducted in any setting. Who is involved is a 3-person advising committee, including your chair, which has to be a tenured or tenure-tracked faculty member from the HPBS division. Your second committee member is also a tenure-tracked faculty member from the School of Public Health, but they're outside the HPBS. Or that can be outside the HPBS. And then the third member is also a tenure-track faculty member from outside the School of Public Health. Now, some students don't know what is meant when we say a tenure or tenure-track faculty member, because there are all sorts of different types of faculty positions here in the School of Public Health. So here on the screen, you see a screenshot of the where you can find the directory on the School of Public Health website. When you look at the faculty directory, tenured and tenure-track faculty are those with the title of assistant professor, associate professor, professor, or emeritus professor. And so you'll want to see what title they have, as well as what division they're in when you are reaching out to people to be on your committee, because some people might not be eligible. Other parameters of the Plan A options are how you present the project. The written project for a thesis includes a very specific 5-chapter format that does not have a page limit. Usually theses are the longest of the ILE options. They're 40 pages, or I've seen some that are 100 or more pages. They're very thorough. The manuscript option is supposed to be formatted per a peer-reviewed journal that you think is appropriate to submit your research to per their guidelines. And so typically they have very specific guidelines for the length and the subject headings and content areas of the project. There are very specific formatting requirements of all Plan A options that are set by SDSU's Montezuma Publishing Office. So you will want to go to their Montezuma Publishing website to find the specifications. There is an oral presentation that's required. It is referred to as a defense, but it is a approximately 25-minute presentation where all committee members must be present. It is open to the public, and there is usually a fairly extensive Q&A period at the end of it. How and when you turn in a Plan A option, you must again follow SDSU's Montezuma Publishing deadlines. Usually the deadline for turning in Plan A options is quite early in the spring semester in which you are, or the semester in which you are graduating. If you're graduating in spring, it's usually due in mid-March, and in mid-November if you're graduating in the winter. So this is a little bit earlier than some of the other options. Additional notes about the Plan A option. This may require advanced analysis skills, whether that's quantitative or qualitative. There are several forms, so there's paperwork associated with the Plan A project that's due to the university, so beyond the SPH offices, and they come with very strict deadlines that must be adhered to, otherwise you are in jeopardy of not graduating on time. The thesis and Plan A options are published by SDSU, again by Montezuma Publishing, and they are available eternally at the SDSU library. So if you want to see examples of theses, go to the SDSU library and look up the dissertation and thesis repository, and you'll be able to see every thesis that's ever been completed by an SPH student, to give you some examples. Moving on to the Plan B manuscript option. This project also answers a research question and is meant to be hypothesis driven. And you also often collect your own data or use existing data. This can be conducted in any setting. This also has a 3-person advising committee with the chair being a tenure or tenure-track faculty member from HPBS. However, the second and third committee members can be any professional with subject matter expertise that pertains to your project. Typically, this means they would have an advanced degree, but not always. So sometimes we have really fantastic community partners or faculty members that don't have a PhD or MD, and they can be qualified to serve on your committee. The manuscript is written, formatted per the journal that you hope to submit to's guidelines. So at the start of your project, you will research journals where you can publish to that would be appropriate for your project, and you're going to write the whole paper based on their formatting guidelines. And so this will look different from student to student. One student might pick a journal where there's a 3,000 word limit. One student might pick a journal where there is no word limit, but maybe it's a 20-page limit and it's a little bit longer. You are also responsible for writing a completely separate chapter, separate from the manuscript, which is a full literature review section that's not meant for publication, but it's meant to further demonstrate your mastery of the content area that you are writing about in the manuscript. You will also give an oral presentation of approximately 25 minutes with all of your committee members present. It's open to the public, and then again, there is a Q&A section where you are required to speak to certain aspects of your project. The manuscript, the Plan B manuscript option, typically you have until the SDSU graduation deadline, which is the first week of May, but your project needs to be approved by all committee members by that time, which means you want to have a solid draft that's reviewable for all of them, usually about a month in advance of that. Some other notes about the manuscript. The writing must be of the highest quality, arguably the highest quality of all the ILE options, because it should be publication worthy. And there will be subsequent videos about what this actually means. You may be required to do advanced analysis, whether that's qualitative or quantitative. We have here on this slide a QR code that links to a manuscript that was published by a student who graduated in 2021. The video will end here and pick up with the Plan B capstone option.